This is Community Forum, a community service of CAN TV. I'm your host, Juan Carlos Hernandez. Today we have two individuals that work with San Jose Obrero Mission that serves the areas of Pilsen and Little Village. We have Elizabeth Jusino, the Board Vice President, and the Executive Director, Israel Vargas. But before we talk to them, we're going to start by showing a short video clip to give us an idea of some of their work and the people that they serve.
My name is Ricardo.
Samuel Jima.
My name is Elvis Echo.
And I'm 27 years old.
31 years old.
I live in Chicago for 18 years.
I went to college.
I have an associate degree in advertising.
I have a medical degree.
I was an accountant for over 20 years.
And I'm a physician.
I have a master's degree in electronic engineering.
And I'm homeless.
Homeless.
I am homeless.
I'm homeless.
And I'm homeless. I'm unemployed and I'm homeless.
Come on and save me.
And I am Israel Vargas. I'm the Executive Director of the San Jose Obrero Mission in Pilsen, and these are my clients. The San Jose Obrero Mission has been around for 30 years.
It's rolling, sir.
But over the last 5, we've become pioneers of a new kind of homeless shelter in Chicago. One that doesn't just warehouse people for the night and give them a warm meal. We have about 40 men in the program, and they are welcome to stay with us for 4 months. While they are here, we provide computers to search for work, job leads, medical checkups, and enrollment in area schools. But we also make demands on them. There's an internal factor in people's lives that they have to take care of before they are ready to make this step. When they are, we're there to help them help themselves. If I were homeless, I would not mind being in a place like this. It's clean. I am not about to warehouse people. I need people to have elbow room, so I couldn't add no more people. I wish I could, but I couldn't add no more people here. I told the city at one time the recipe for a successful interim housing program is 40 beds, 1 case manager, 1 cook, 3 full-time program staff, and 2 full-time program staff, and of course, an awesome director like me. I know how easy it is to lose your way when you don't have a comfort of a home. When I was 18, I spent 2 months living on the street, afraid to go back to my mother's house. When I turned 19, I started running with the wrong crowd. One night, I gave a gun to a friend who used it to kill a rival gang member, and I was sentenced to 35 years in prison as an accessory to murder. I make no excuses for what I did. I served my time, but I served it well. I got my associate's degrees in Pontiac Prison and a master's from Roosevelt University when I got out. After serving 12 years, I was released on parole in 2002. I had only 3 goals in my mind: to get a job, to start a family, and to never go back to prison again. I'm fortunate because I found a network of people who saw I was motivated to succeed. And that's what I try to convey to our clients. If you have the motivation, we will find a way to help you.
Well, thanks for that. And let's start talking about some of those individuals. You say that there's an internal factor that they have to go through and change. And as we also saw at the beginning of that video, it's very surprising. Some people are doctors, accountants, not the stereotype we have of people who are homeless.
That's correct.
So tell us about that change that people have to go through, or how does someone in that type of a profession end up homeless?
Well, it doesn't take much to be homeless. All you have to have is all the right circumstances happen to you. In that particular case, that gentleman came from out of state. He has nobody here to come for a job, and when he got here, the job fell through. So he ended up being in the car for 3 days, and then we took him on at our agency and successfully transferred him out to an apartment after he gained job, a high-level job for that man because he was a surgeon. So support is one of the issues in which we come across when dealing with our population. Many of them don't have no support, burn their bridges, and may be lacking some internal tools needed to adequately cope with
the changes that are happening in your life leading to a spiral down. We cover those things by making sure that not only they have a structure at the agency, but ensuring that through that structure they're receiving all this information that's going to help them make the right decisions, from our life skills classes to our career training program. All of these are essential tools that you need to be able to not only have a positive social interaction, market yourself for a job, and eventually able to do the technical things like write a check to the landlord so that you can keep the apartment.
Right. Tell me more about those, and then we'll talk about you and your experience. Those internal changes, you said that they lack the internal tools to deal with some of these difficulties that they've come across in their lives. What do you most encounter in the clients that you serve?
Well, most of it comes from their upbringings, you know, and you could come from a well-off family, but if the appropriate attention was not given to some very basic development parts of your life, you are going to be missing those things as you grow.
For example?
For example, is one good example is like if you come from a good family, but there is a disconnect between the mother and the father, you're not learning that relationship component. And so as you grow old, as you get older, you may be coming across some difficulties in holding a relationship, which can lead to you making some wrong decisions for who your partner is, which can lead to, from a domestic battery situation to just a separation, and just a separation alone can lead to you becoming homeless.
Interesting. We will come back to your story. I want to bring Elizabeth, or Lisa, right, into the conversation. How did you become involved in San Jose Obrero, and why?
I became involved with San Jose after meeting Israel at an event. When he introduced himself and mentioned San Jose, I right away knew of San Jose through my church. My church sponsors the annual Christmas for the men in crisis and a sweater drive, and I am on the All-State Against Domestic Abuse team, and we do a lot of training on financial curriculum. So he was talking to me about the Families in Crisis facility, and I was interested in going and seeing what they did, and also visiting the men's shelter, because all I knew of the men's shelter was that, you know, we bought a sweater every Christmas and supported the organization. When I went with Israel, we started at the men's facility, and
the one in Pilsen, right?
The one in Pilsen on Loomis, and I was just really taken back, because in your mind, when you think of a homeless shelter, you have this. Well, I had this. I didn't expect to see what I saw. I expected to see a facility, you know, full of beds. I didn't expect that they did everything that they did. So walking through it, I was taken back because the place is immaculate. The participants, you know, friendly. It was just a very different environment than what I was walking into. And when we went up into the men's dorm area, I was surprised at how nice it was. You know, everyone again very friendly. Then we went to see the Families in Crisis program.
That's the center in Little Village?
And that's the center in Little Village on 24th and Albany. When you walk through and you see these children, you know, and the moms and their babies, and they had a class going on at the time, and they have a center for the kids downstairs. I just, my heart was like, how can you not help?
What is it specifically that you saw with the men, first of all? You said it was immaculate, but and it was different, a different impression from what you thought it might be. But what exactly happened? It's not. It's.
It was for me. It was the you know, the interaction that the staff was having with them. One of the gentlemen was filling out some log, and Israel introduced him, and right away he started telling me, well, they hold us accountable here. He was in school. He was filling out his log because he said he had to tell them from 7 a.m. till sometime p.m. what it is he accomplished for the day.
Wow. So every
so
hour.
there was accountability.
Right.
It wasn't just someone giving you, a plate of food. It was, no, I'm helping you change your life. And if I'm going to help you change your life, these are the steps you need to take. And if you want me to help you, I'll help you.
Right.
But you got to follow this program.
Wow.
And he was a young man, and he was happy, excited about the opportunities that he had and what he was seeing. I met another gentleman, Fernando, who, right away shook my hand. He was from Puerto Rico, as I am, and he was telling me that he had struggled a lot when he came here. He ended up in a terrible situation, told me of a different shelter he was in, and then he said, and then I came here, and wow. The support that we have here is tremendous. I have goals. They're helping me save. I want to go back. I'm almost close to reaching my goal. It was just very different. I had never experienced that before.
And it was the same type of interaction and energy with the mothers and children?
Yes. And then, and that's, and it's different too, right? Because now you're dealing with kids. You would expect being in a homeless shelter that you would, I don't know, I expected to see sadness. These people were happy. The kids were excited, doing different activities. And what I loved was the fact that the moms were getting career classes, life skills. I heard one of the counselors talking to the woman, play interviewing, getting her ready to go on an interview, asking her about what are you going to wear, and not putting her down when she came off, telling her what she was. No, well, let's think different. If I came in and I was dressed like this, what would your reaction be to me? So educating them on what first impressions mean.
Right, right. It's not tearing down the person, it's building them up.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting.
Yeah, yeah.
Israel, tell us about your experience and what eventually led you to the doors and to be the executive director of San Jose Obrero Mission.
Well, you've seen some of it in the video. I endured some times in which I was within the correctional system.
How did you end up there, though? Take us through some of that story. Obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was raised in Puerto Rico. I came in 1983, landed in Pilsen. By then, my parents were divorced, so a lot of the guidance that was coming towards me was not coming from the right directions. And so there was a certain level of segregation within the community, within our people, because I have to say our people, that do not expose you to other cultures as it should. And so it leaves you less educated to what other people would think or how they will act. You assimilate the environment that you're living in, and then eventually something like this will happen. Where you're at the wrong place at the wrong time, and just because you're there, you're found guilty of such things. I went through the system and went to school, and I actually learned most of my English in prison as I was going to college over there.
Wow.
Because when I came from Puerto Rico, my English was damn near non-existent. So I say that education really expanded my intellect to the point to where, because I had the foundation, which is family, and the support, which was for family and relatives from Puerto Rico, I was really starting to rethink of taking myself back to the person that I really was, which was not a bad person, but a person who just I was misguided. I came out in 2002, and I have 4 goals, and my goals were to continue my education, establish a family, engage in a career, and buy a house. Because I felt that as a man, I needed to show that I was responsible, and those 4 things would show that. And so I began working for Parents United for Responsible Education as an administrative assistant, but I came out with computer skills, and that made me very marketable for that agency. So at first I was a consultant, and immediately thereafter I was hired as a resource development associate, because I started learning how a nonprofit works in regards to bringing monies in to run the programs.
Right.